This is a Disneyland original little long-playing record, and I am your story reader. I am going to begin now to read the story of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. You can read along with me in your book. You will know it is time to turn the page when Tinker Bell rings her little bells, like this. Let's begin now. Our story begins in San Francisco Harbor a long time ago, before there were airplanes in the sky. A three-masted schooner named the Abraham Lincoln set sail for the South Seas. There were 3 passengers aboard, Professor Aronnax, his nephew Conseil, and Ned Land, who knew a great deal about harpoons and whaling. They were going in search of a mysterious sea monster. One night, after many days at sea, a storm blew up. The ship began rolling and bouncing like a cork in the water. One of the masts broke in two. The vessel was sinking. When the sea grew quiet again, Ned, the professor, and Conseil found themselves all alone in a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean. They saw what seemed to be an island in the distance. The island was a strange-looking submarine resting quietly in the water. The 3 friends tied the lifeboat to the unusual craft and walked along its deck. Fearing that the submarine might go under the water at any time, they entered a hatchway and went inside. They passed by the controls and came to a beautiful big room, which had deep carpets, a pipe organ, and a fountain. Here they were welcomed by a pet seal named Snoopy and a bearded man in an officer's uniform, Captain Nemo of the submarine Nautilus. The captain invited them to dinner. They were served delicious food from the sea that tasted just like steak and vegetables. The 3 guests put on diving suits and were shown the captain's undersea farm, where the crew of the Nautilus was harvesting seaweed, barnacles, and sea cucumbers. Conseil saw a sunken pirate ship and decided to explore it. Inside was a treasure chest filled with golden doubloons and pieces of 8. All of a sudden, a big sea spider started toward them. Snoopy the seal swam straight at it and drove it away just in time. When Conseil got back inside the Nautilus, he was still a little frightened. He wanted to go home, but Captain Nemo did not want anyone to leave the submarine. He even locked them inside a cabin while he stopped at a tropical island. Ned and Conseil began to make plans to escape. While Ned searched through the charts in Captain Nemo's cabin, Conseil kept Snoopy quiet by feeding him seaweed cigars. Hoping someone would find them, Conseil put some messages saying "help" into bottles and threw them overboard. Some days later, the submarine ran into a tropical hurricane, as strong as the one which had sunk the Abraham Lincoln. The ship dived deep to get away from the storm and hit some rocks. The power went off. When the damage had been repaired, it turned out that the ship was deeper than man had ever gone before. Outside were some of the strangest-looking fish in the world. A few had giant humps on their backs. Others were long and skinny. A lanternfish supplied its own light. There was also a giant squid, which coiled long tentacles around the Nautilus. "Call all hands! Prepare to surface!" said Captain Nemo. The captain and his men went above decks to fight the squid. The captain took a harpoon and threw it, but missed. The squid knocked 2 men into the water. It wrapped a huge tentacle around the captain till he could not move. The others could not free him. He was being dragged closer and closer to the squid's mouth. Then Ned came to the rescue. He took a harpoon from one of the crew, threw it, and made a direct hit. The squid let go of the submarine and fell into the water. Ned dived in and freed the captain from the big tentacle. Captain Nemo was grateful to Ned for saving his life and decided to let all 3 travelers return home. He even let Snoopy go along because Conseil liked him so much. They all thanked the captain. Then they set sail in one of the submarine's small boats. A search craft spotted them, and they were rescued. Perhaps someone had found one of Conseil's bottles with a message inside. Whatever the case, Ned, Conseil, Professor Aronnax, and Snoopy were home quite soon from their great adventure.